All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. And guys, we are seeing a little bit of a move up today. Bitcoin is pumping and getting a little bit of a pump above our range value area high and our anchored VWAP. So in some ways, this is a sign of strength for Bitcoin. Now, we did not get that move down to our support level that I was really watching, and we actually didn't even hit the golden pocket, which I'm a little bit surprised about. If we take our fib pull from the lows to our highs prior to today, you can see we came down. We did front run that golden pocket just barely, and we front run the 786 in the daily swing failure pattern, and we got the move up. Now we are moving up in a pretty nice ascending channel here. So let me go ahead and get rid of this now. You can see this ascending channel. We just made this ascending channel based off the two lows and our original high here. And you can see how well the midline's being respected. We broke above the midline here, and we're kind of forming almost looks like what could be a bull flag here to come up to our 88.2 to 88.6K area of resistance, where you can see that area of resistance is also the top of the channel. Now, I do want to talk about a couple things here because I am still a little bit worried about this push up. First, let's go ahead and turn on our volume here. And yes, we did see a pretty good spike in volume at the top here. But sometimes at the end of a corrective move, you do see a spike in volume at the top of a corrective move. Now, I don't think this necessarily could be the end of a correction. We do have the bull divs on the daily, and we are breaking above the value area high. So I want to talk about this because yesterday in the video, we talked about a couple things. We talked about, yes, we were looking for a move down to this level. We did not get that move, so we missed out on the long. That's okay. You don't catch every trade, and you're not right 100% of the time. You map out both the resistances, both the shorts, and you play whichever one comes. So let's go into our local range. So remember, this range is from the price action below our daily anchored VWAP here, below that anchored VWAP at 49K. And if we look at this range here, this volume profile, well, first of all, let's pull it to before the breakout. Let's pull it to like where we were last night. You can see the reason why we bounce is we bounce from the value area low of this range. And the value area low did give us a good bounce. We were able to get above that point of control. Yesterday in the video, I was saying we might reject from this area. Well, we didn't. So if you were looking for a short there, the second you saw that we weren't rejecting, you shouldn't have entered that trade. We also didn't really have much bear divs there. If we go on to our 12-minute here, we were not really seeing bear divs quite yet here. Money flow was still looking pretty good. Now you can see we're not even really seeing bull divs right now, bear divs right now. So what we can do though is we can take this same volume profile and we can just extend it a little bit to meet our current price action. And what is happening right now? We're breaking above the value area. You can see on the back test of the VWAP, we broke up to the value area right up in this area. This here, we had a small rejection from the value area to our VWAP, and then our VWAP bounced us. So you can also see down here, after reclaiming the point of control, kind of came back for a back test of the point of control and the VWAP, and it held us and supported us. So all today, the VWAP has been acting as a support level. Look at here also, we had that push up, came back down to retest the VWAP and the value area high, and so far we're making a small push up from that. We can even look, if you really want to go into micro price action, you can even go look at this little descending channel that we're having right here, and it looks like we're forming a sort of bull flag. If we zoom out onto larger time frames, let me just go ahead and get rid of this for a second. Let's see, we'll do this here. This guy, let's get rid of that for a second. Let's go zoom out onto our hourly chart. And this is starting to look kind of bull flaggish, with this whole thing being our flag and we're this whole thing being our pole, and we're forming the flag as we speak. Now, the reason why this could be a bull flag is because we are breaking above the value area high of our range. We are back testing the value area high, and as long as we do not lose that value area high, we could see continued price action to the upside. And if we're looking for continued price action to the upside, let's go ahead and take the measured move of this bull flag here. We can just throw that on our target and look at where our target is, pretty much at our resistance. So this is the area where we really want to be looking for our more massive resistance level to come in, our more strong resistance, I should say. But let's go into a couple scenarios here. So we are breaking that value area high. Once again, let's go back to that volume profile. We're just going to pull that volume profile of the range that has been occurring underneath our 49K anchored VWAP. And if we can continue to stay above our value area high here around 83,750, 83.8, if we can stay above this and particularly above the anchored VWAP about 83.3, then I do think we can continue this move to the upside. And I do think that this still could be part of a bigger correction. We do have to remember we've been dumping for really weeks. If we zoom out here onto the 4-hour chart, we've had a pretty consistent dump here for quite a while. And after the completion of a bigger ABC correction, which that's why we were looking for 76.6 as the bottom, because it was the 1.236 fib target of an ABC. Remember, we've been talking about this whole price action in here as a complex correction. And what is a complex correction? It's a series of 3-wave corrections before making a continuation of the overall trend. Well, coming into this complex correction, the overall trend has been down coming into this. You can see a big flush down coming into this. Then we had our 3-wave Trump tweet correction from a couple weekends ago. And then we had our bigger ABC here. So 2 3-wave corrections. And are we making now just a third 3-wave correction before continuing the trend down? That is the question that everyone wants to know about. And to be honest with you, that I don't know that yet. It's too early to tell. What I am leaning towards is this being a 3-wave correction, because if we were looking at 2 possible scenarios yesterday. We were looking at an impulse out of this 76.6 with all of this being the 1-wave, a 2-wave. Now I was looking for the 2-wave to come down to our support, and then a 3-wave to shoot us up to 88.8, 88.6 or higher, up to 93K, and then, 4.5. Now, we did bounce from the value area low, and we did not hit the golden pocket. We hit close to the more macro 0.5. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the 2-hour chart here. And we'll do our fib pull from the 76.6 lows up to our prior highs, that CPI top there. If we turn on our 5th wave, you can see, yeah, we did go a little bit past it, but overall, our 5th wave, we didn't quite, or our 0.5, we kind of bounced from that area. We didn't make it down to the golden pocket. We front ran that golden pocket. Now, if this is just an A-B, a common target for a B wave is the 0.5. The B wave has the most common targets. So B waves are hard, and also 2 waves are pretty hard too. So let's look at this as a possible ABC correction. Now, I posted about this earlier today in the Discord, with this being, all of this being our A wave, this correction that we saw yesterday being our B wave, and then our C wave could bring us up to this target. If this is an ABC correction, well, we can get our targets for an ABC correction based off of a trend-based Fibonacci extinction. So let's grab our trend-based Fibonacci extinction. We're going to go from the lows of A to the highs of A to the lows of B, and look at where our 1-to-1 target comes in. Our between the 1-to-1 and the 1-2-3-6, right at our resistance area. So now we have multiple levels of resistance up in this area. If we turn on our naked daily points of control, you can see we have a naked daily point of control up here. If we go to our naked weekly points of control, you can see we have a naked weekly point of control in there. So we have a lot of resistance above us in this 88, I would say 88.2 to 88.6, in between this area, or 88.1 to 88.6. This area here has a lot of resistance. Also, if we go on to our bearish pitchfork, you can see we have that box labeled out already because it is the same golden pocket pole, so that's not extra resistance. Same golden pocket pole. We do have the naked daily marked out on here. It's also a naked weekly in the same area, but it's the upper band of our bearish pitchfork. So we have the pitchfork midline of our bigger bullish pitchfork and the upper band of our bearish pitchfork at the same resistance area between 88.2 and 88.6. That is the area. If this is going to be a bigger ABC correction, it's also our one-to-one correction target for an ABC wave. This is our real big resistance in this area where we could roll right back over and finally come down and continue this move down to that bigger 72 to 70K area. Now, this could take some time to play out. There is still a possibility with our daily bull divs that this is not going to be an ABC, that this is going to be a 1, 2, and we're just going to explode 3 in a third wave. I am not leaning towards that, even though all of this is mostly green here because of the way our volume looks, and we are going into the weekend. So you can see here, for the most part, our volume has been decreasing. Since here, our volume has been decreasing except for one spike at the top. Our volume has been decreasing the entire move up. And that is why I am more leaning towards it being an ABC correction. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be. We just have to wait. It's still kind of early in this process. And we could even top out where we're at now. So I'll go ahead and talk about that real quick too. Let's turn off this volume. And as you know, we've been playing this range, this volume profile here underneath the price action underneath our anchored VWAP. And I'm going to include today's price action because only this little part is above the anchored VWAP. So you can see here, anchored VWAP, value area high, right around the same area. Our pitchfork midline of our bearish pitchfork is where our VWAP is. If we lose this general area of support that is just right in this area here, then we might be done with the ABC and come all the way back down right now. I don't think that's the highest possibility. I do think we can continue up to this 88.2 to 88.6, but everything's probabilities. So we just watch. We wait. We sit on our hands. We wait, and we don't look for. We look for proper setups. Let's just say that. So now, I understand some of you say, okay, I can hear right now. Should we long the bullish back test of the value area high and take profit up here? You can, but that's risky because look at where you're going to have to take your TP. So if you're going to be longing at the top of a daily pump here, this is a pretty good sized pump that we saw today. If you're going to long here, the technical invalidation for your stop has to be below this low. And then your first take profit would be up in this box here. That's only a 1.22 risk reward ratio. Now, if I was going to personally take this trade, I would not put my stop all the way down below this low. I would probably wait until we start getting a bounce and start rolling up. I would enter a little bit late, maybe up here, and then I would put my stop below the wick that was created on that bounce. That gives you a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is plenty good. So that's the way you could long that. But if you're going to long at the top of a pump like this on a bullish backtest of a value area high that's breaking, you have to have proper risk management. I would absolutely not long it. I would not set a limit here and hope it's going to hold. What I would be doing is watching it do this, hitting the bounce and starting to see the bounce. And I would long in this area, put my stop below this area, TP this area. So that's how you could play that. There's always levels to find to long with proper risk management, even in pumps. Now it's definitely more risky to long at the top of a big move like we saw today, but you can find opportunities. So that's kind of what we're looking at with Bitcoin here. We are going into the weekend. We have to remember, because it is weekend, because we generally see very low volume on Friday nights and Saturdays, that we could just continue to range in this range. We could just fall right back into that volume profile and then just like maybe continue to range within this range here. And then we'll have to diagnose the price action at, maybe on Sunday. All right, let's go ahead and look at our CVD here real quick. Let's get this. Okay, so CVD, this is actually pretty good looking here. We are seeing a bullish CVD so far. This is actually really nice. So what this tells me is we probably are going to bounce from that value area high and continue up. You can see here, higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the CVD, with our open interest increasing overall on this move. What that tells me is that Bitcoin is most likely going to continue up to that 88.2 to 88.6K level. And I just want to look at a couple other things here. Yeah, I would even say you could look at the CVD. Now, this CVD is not the nicest. Where did that guy go? There we go. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so from our 76.6K low, we are now creating higher lows on the price action. Overall, our CVD is now decreasing. And our open interest, I don't like the way the open interest looks for this part of it so much. It looks more flat, but it is going up overall from that area. So you could say bullish absorption is happening overall on the CVD, even from the 76.6K lows. Now, our local bullish divs, bullish absorption is happening way better, way more clear signal. So if that's the case, let's look for a bounce from our value area high, from our anchored VWAP area, kind of where we're at right now, where we're coming into right now, and we could look for a move up to our resistance area. And then once we get up here, if we are seeing bear divs on the chart, we can enter our short up here. You don't want to just blindly short this, put a limit here to short this, because if this is going to be a wave 3 impulse, we could bust through this really easily. In an impulsive price action, sometimes even the strongest resistances just get shattered. They don't even get respected. So we can look at that up there once we get up there. So if we're seeing kind of this and then boom, and then, you know, maybe some just working our way up here, we'd want to be looking on the lower time frames, probably 15-minute and under, maybe hourly, for higher highs on the price action. And then you'd want to see, you know, lower highs. That's not lower. You'd see this maybe, and then this, lower highs here, higher highs there. You would look for your short. And money flow, you'd want to be kind of topping out and coming down as well. But this is the 2-hour time frame. You wouldn't want to be looking on 2-hour. You'd want to be going down to like the 15-minute time frame and more. One thing I don't like that I'm seeing here on the 15-minute is this. You know, we were seeing some bearish divs here. You can see from this high on the momentum wave, so from this area that we rejected the first time from the value area high in this general area, higher highs on price action, lower highs on the momentum wave. So we were getting confirmed bear div, and our money flow is now steadily coming out. This tells me that we are seeing a bunch of mixed signals right now. Overall, with the bearish CVD absorption, we probably can hold this general box of support that I was just talking about, this box down to the VWAP. Yes, the VWAP is a little bit below our value area high, but it's acceptable to see like an hourly or 2-hourly wick down below it and then reclaim it pretty quickly and continue higher. So I'd be looking for this support right below us to hold. If we break this, then yeah, we're probably coming back down to that point of control.